Good Monday evening. Welcome to BCP Live. Hi, I'm Joey McWilliams. Glad that you are with me tonight. I hope you had a great Independence Day weekend. I really do. I hope things went well for you. I also hope that I have a good signal tonight, but, I don't know how much to ask for in any particular setting, so that's all right. Thanks for joining tonight. Thanks for watching. Have some people checking in already, so we'll get to all the names. We have a winner to announce just a little bit later on too. So that's always fun. I like to announce winners. Always like to talk about the good things, talk about the positive things. We'll talk about some interesting things tonight. I know I may come across as preaching just a little bit tonight. By the way, still like the I voted sticker. I think that's really cool. But that's the way it is. And I do have a license. Okay, so if I do preach a little bit, I promise I do have a license to do that. Hey, Shelly, glad that you have joined tonight. Mrs. Payton has also joined tonight. Appreciate that. And Seth, nice to see your name coming up there as well. Man, that's great. It's a Monday night. It is a Monday following a holiday. I've been to the bank today, and that's one of those things. Banks and a few other businesses locally are places that I really have a lot of respect for anyway. But then the Monday after a holiday, yeah. That's cool. Michelle, I'm glad to see your name come up there tonight as well. That is really cool. You guys want to stick around for just a little bit, and we will get to the winner of this. Here we go. Opera House gift card. Opera House gift card. I'm going to announce the winner tonight of the contest that we had recently. Words or phrase that need to be left in 2020 when 2020 is over. Brent, good to see you. Nice to see you already today, man. I'm serious. You're looking good. You're looking good. All right, Jeff. Hey, man, we have a full house tonight already, so that's cool. All right, let me say thanks to a few of the advertisers and sponsors here of the Bryan County Patriot. The Patriot is continuing to grow, and I believe having a positive impact in the town and in the county, and I believe in the community as well. And I am grateful for every one of the sponsors and the advertisers that are a part of this. That means so much to me. And a couple of guys saying hi right there that I appreciate as well, because, hey, we're in this county, we're in this place together, and you all mean something to me, and I just appreciate you. Among those folks, I wanted to talk about Greg Phillips Insurance, Indian Nation Wholesale, Jalapenos, People First Industries. Had a great visit with the folks from People First last week. Texoma Financial Services. And Texoma Financial Services, Ronnie Walters, the one responsible for this gift card, by the way, too. Texoma Utility Equipment, Abundant Life Texoma, Blake Utter Ford, the Choctaw Nation, and Durant Station. Thank you very much to all of the sponsors. Those are just a few. We have a lot more. We try to break them up into at least 5 different settings so that I can make sure that I get everybody some attention over the course of the week and that it's not drawn out. Well, I have a couple things I wanted to bring to your attention tonight. But first, let's go to this. Okay, here we go. Here we go. And we do have, I have in front of me the list from the panel. So I want to make sure I'm reading this properly to get it down right. But the panel that I told you about gave me the list, and they went through all of the words or phrases that need to be left in 2020. Okay, words or phrases that need to be left in 2020 that we're sick of, that we don't want to hear anymore. Hi, Mike. Good to see your name up there. You know what? Mike, I'm going to try something after the show's over with and see if it works. So we'll figure that one out. Richard, glad you joined tonight as well. Amy, John, both on, coming up at the same time there. That's cool. Willie Henderson, you are just flat out cool. So don't let anyone tell you different. Anyway, I think you're cool, Willie. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining tonight. David, glad to see your name come up there as well. Okay, I know I'm talking, and I need to get to the winner because you need to know this. Winner of an Opera House gift card, $20 gift card to the Opera House. I'm telling you, this is good stuff. All right, top 3. The panel gave us the top 3, and I will read them. I'll read the top 3 here. The first 2 of the top 3 that made the final. 6 feet, man. We don't ever want to hear that we need to be 6 feet away anymore. 6 feet. Amy had that one. She chimed in with that. You know what? David, I agree with you. New normal was one of my picks, although I was not the panel. I left this to a completely arbitrary panel who knew none of the names that went with them. But that was one. All right, 6 feet, man. Amy came up with that one. And then Murder Hornet. Murder Hornet needs to be left in 2020. Murder Hornet needed to never, ever be thought of in the first place. Oh, my goodness. That was Mark. Mark Montgomery had that. Mark, I don't know. I didn't see your name come up tonight, but I'll tell you, I'll let you know when I see your name come up. You were one of the top 3. And the winner of the Opera House gift card is a phrase that we never want to hear again. Never, never want to hear again. Stop hoarding the toilet paper. Never, ever want to hear that again. Panel chose that as the winner, and the winner is Michelle. Michelle, you won. You won. So now I saw your name come up there. Let me know in the comments that you know that you won. Michelle Campbell, you won. Stop hoarding the toilet paper. So if you are still watching, Michelle, we need to get this card to you. So let me know, and if you're not still on right now, we'll make sure that you go. All right, yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, woohoo, good job. By the way, that's my office. That's what I call my office space there at the northwest corner of 2nd and Evergreen. So I'm there pretty regularly. Got to stop by a couple times last week and do some office work there. So it's a good place to come and visit. And Bryan knows that. We had a good chance to talk there. Some of the other folks here, that's a good place to go. Definitely a good place to go. Michelle is our winner. How about that? I want to say thanks to Ronnie Walters from Texoma Financial Services, who provided a couple of gift cards to the Opera House. And by the way, I visit with Ronnie there regularly, and we frequent the Opera House, and we're making sure somebody's wages are being paid. I know. Anyway, it's a fantastic place. And I want to say thanks to Ronnie. Ronnie, a big supporter of the show too, and I appreciate him. All right. Where are we? Okay, let's get to the thing that needs to be talked about. And it's the thing, I'm not going to talk about the thing that shall not be named. Terry, glad to see your name come up tonight as well. The thing that shall not be named, of course, the beer bug. And the beer bug seems to dominate conversation. And the beer bug is only partially responsible for what I'm going to talk about here. So I told you that I was going to preach just a little bit tonight. And if you'll bear with me, stick around for a little bit. I promise there's a reason for it. I want you to definitely want you to be encouraged. I want you to be encouraged. Yes, and Mrs. Patriot, I believe, is watching as well. Terry, it's good to see you today, by the way. Thank you very much. All right, so I need to share my screen. Where is my screen? Here we go. This came out 3-4 days ago. Okay. And I'm bringing it to you from the CNN version here. CNN. Okay. CNN. From California, Governor Gavin Newsom bans singing in places of worship. Bans singing in places of worship. According to CNN, while you can still attend in-person church services in California, you can't sing. To the state, to curb a rapidly worsening pandemic, I edited so much right then, has temporarily banned singing and chanting in places of worship. So there we go. Governor Newsom, who from this point on in the show shall be referred to as Pharaoh Newsom. Does this sound familiar? I heard this some on Sunday, but it was the first thing that came to mind when I was thinking of this particular situation. I kept thinking of Pharaoh. Kept thinking of Pharaoh and the children of Israel. And the reason for that, it goes back to, we're going to let you do a little bit. We're not going to let you do anything. Okay, now we're going to let you do a little bit, but there's going to be a compromise involved. There are 2 things I want you to get from this, and they're very, very important. And if you are a Christian, if you know Jesus and you want to walk out, I think your Christian walk, I think there are a couple things that you need to know about this in particular. Number 1, this is an attempt for a compromise. See, that's what Pharaoh did. Pharaoh was going to get beaten. I think that deep down inside, all along, even though he didn't, yeah, Mike, we'll get to the constitutionality on it here in just a moment, too. I think Pharaoh, deep down inside, knew. I think he knew. He knew he was going to get beaten. When it was all said and done, when those plagues started coming, he knew that it was all going to go down. But wait, what happened? And to tell you the story, the children of Israel, the children of Israel, I can't address that one, David. I've never heard you sing, but David says, I sing so bad, I'm surprised they haven't put out an order to ban me. I can't address that personally, David, but I'm gonna stick with this overall ban. The children of Israel, God told Moses to get the children of Israel out of Egypt. Long story involved, but he said, hey, get everybody, tell them, get ready, go outside of Egypt and find a place, and you're going to worship me there. So Moses went to Pharaoh and said, Pharaoh, I'm taking all the people, all the Israelites. They don't belong here anyway. We're going to go, and we're just going to go. He didn't say we were leaving for good. He just said we're going to go, and we're going to worship God. We're going to go outside of Egypt, and we're going to worship God. Okay? So that's the gist here. And Pharaoh says, no, you're not going to do that. Okay? And so Moses says, yeah, we're kind of going to do that. And Pharaoh said, no, you're not. They went back and forth a little bit. And then so Moses says, all right, he goes away. God starts sending plagues. Now, the first thing that happened was Pharaoh said no, outright no. Okay? Do you remember a while back when there were times that you're not going to gather in a house of worship. You're not going to do it. This was in California. This was in other places. No, you're not going to go to your church. And now we see Pharaoh Newsom in California saying, well, you know what? I'll tell you what. I'm going to let you go to your church, but you can't sing. You can't chant. You can't recite. You can't speak, in essence, because singing's one thing, and I get that. And some people do give a little spittle when they sing. I can't speak to David, but anyway, some people give a little spittle when they sing. That's all right. We were watching Hamilton this weekend, and yes, I do. I unabashedly watch Hamilton. Now, granted, I don't agree with all of the political statements that are being embodied in that right now, but it's a really good musical, and those folks are flat out talented. I mean, flat out talented. But we're watching Hamilton, seeing the people, and they videoed one of the stage productions 4 years ago, and you're just now getting to see it on video. And those close-up cameras, I mean, those folks on Broadway, they spit a lot when they talk. So folks spit when they sing, and I get that. That's fine. But you can't even chant, you can't recite, you can't do this, that, and the other. No, we're going to let you, okay, we'll let you get back into your house of worship, but you're not going to be able to sing. It's a compromise. And that's what the enemy tries to do. The enemy tries to get us to compromise. Well, I'll let you do a little bit, but you can't do much. Well, we'll let you do a little bit more. What's the next thing? See, in Pharaoh, there was a system here, and it goes through. The first thing Pharaoh said, he said, okay, finally, after a couple of plagues, he was tired of the plagues. He called Moses back in, and he said, all right, Moses, I'm going to let you go, but I'll tell you what. How far now was you going to go? He said, we're going to go 3 days journey. No, don't go 3 days journey. Don't go very far. Just go barely outside of Egypt. Just go a little ways. See, it's a compromise. Pharaoh said, no, more plagues. Pharaoh comes back. Moses, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll let you go a little bit further like you want to, but who else going to go with you again? Well, we're all going to go. The old people, the young people, we're all going to go. And Pharaoh said, no, I'm not letting your kids go. Kids are important. Kids are very important. So, a couple more plagues, Pharaoh comes back again. So I'll tell you what, I'll let you go. I'll let you go outside as far as you want to go. I'll even let your kids go and your old people go and your women go and your men go, and we'll let all you people go. But don't take your animals. Moses is like, we got to have our animals. We got to have something to sacrifice. No, you can't do it. It's all off the table now, done. Now, that was pretty much the last straw, because after that, then you get the plague of the firstborn. Pharaoh kicks them all out, and then they all do actually go. I want to know what's next in line then for Pharaoh Newsom, the governor of California, who forever after on this show, or maybe not forever after, for the foreseeable future on this show, Gavin Newsom will be known as Pharaoh. So Pharaoh Newsom has now given the edict that you can have your time of worship, you can go into your church, however, you can't sing. What's next? Well, you can go in your church and you can go sing, but you shouldn't take your kids or your old people. Well, I'll tell you what, you can do this, but you can't give your money. Now, I know he didn't say that. I'm just trying to, what's next? Think, use the magic bean, think. What's next? Well, Joey, that's all well and good, but see, we don't have that in Oklahoma or Texas right now. You know what? Stuff on the coasts finds its way in. Now, like I said, I heard a little bit of this on Sunday, and it was what I was already thinking I was going to share with you all today. So I was kind of glad to get to hear it on Sunday because it was kind of a confirmation. And you know what, Jeff, I agree with you. Do not walk in fear. Do not walk in fear. Jamie, Robert, glad you guys are on tonight. Stephen, Nick, Joel, glad you guys are part of the broadcast tonight as well. Thanks for stopping by. I know it's a revolving door of people that come in and out. So if you're here for the first time, Pharaoh is telling people you can go to church, but you can't do this, or you can't do that, or you can't do that. Where does the compromise end? We just need to be aware of it, and we need to be prepared, and we need to be praying for those folks in California. I was pretty proud of the folks in California shooting off all those fireworks on the 4th. I mean, there was a massive display of we're not going to take it anymore. I was hearing some 80s heavy metal in my head. We need to pray for the folks in California. All right, let me give you the second thing, and then Mike, if you're still watching, I'll get to the constitutionality about it because it's so blazingly unconstitutional. The second thing is this. Pharaoh Newsom may not understand this, but we should. And that's words matter. What is singing? What is that part of the service? You know, Mrs. Patriot, by the way, has a beautiful, beautiful voice, an absolutely beautiful voice. My mother had an absolutely beautiful voice. Mrs. Patriot has an absolutely beautiful voice. My children can sing. I mean, some of you all have heard number 2. She sings really well. I'm really honored and blessed to get to have all those folks that I get to be associated with. I sing a little bit too, but in comparison, we just won't even go there. But I know there were times when I was younger, you know, I've been in church all my life. I'd come, I want to hear the person preach. I was there. I wanted to get my message, I wanted to be fed. Well, Mrs. Patriot, you know, lots of times she was there. She'd be leading the singing. She'd be along the way. And sometimes I didn't get it as much when I was younger as I do now, that the time of singing, the time of praise and worship, that's an important time too, because you're singing, you're saying words when you sing. And some denominations do the recitations. You're reciting the Bible in some senses. In some places, I know Catholicism, there's some chants, different things like that, but you're singing. These are absolutely important things. And why are they important? Because words matter. Words matter. We talked about God and creating the universe about a week or so ago. We were talking about setting goals, and we were talking about imagination, and that God has an imagination. Did you know God has an imagination? When he said, let there be light, or some places it's translated light be. When he said, let there be light be, he knew what it was going to look like. It didn't surprise him. When light started shooting out in 186,000 miles a second in all directions because God said, let there be light, God was not surprised. He wasn't shocked. He wasn't freaked out. He didn't go, oh my, me? That's what light looks like. He didn't take his own name in vain, by the way. He knew what light was going to look like. He had it in his mind. He knew what it was going to look like. And so he said, light be, and it was. We talked about God and his imagination, but I want to submit to you tonight then, how did God make light? How did God create light? He said, and if you look all the way through the first book, through the first chapter of the first book of the Bible, in Genesis chapter 1, and you can look and you can see, and God said, 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 because he was putting his words out there. God made things when he said things. He said, let there be light. And by the way, you get to the end of the first chapter, and if you read this, it says, and God saw. What did he see? What he said. We're made in God's image. Words matter. I'll tell you, listen, you don't think words matter? You know, the whole phrase, sticks and stones may break my bones and words will never hurt me. First off, that's a big load of hooey, okay? Because, you know, listen, words hurt. And not that sticks and stones don't hurt too, but words hurt. Words can heal. Words can hurt. If I got off this broadcast tonight, or even right now in the comments section. Oh, there's some cool comments, by the way. Thank you, Stephen. Appreciate that. And you're right, Jamie. There we go. God told Ezekiel to speak to the dry bones. He spoke life into dry bones. We have that same authority. You're exactly right. But if I got into the comment section tonight, and if I got on my Facebook page tonight, and I typed in certain words right now, I'm not even talking about curse words, cuss words, whatever you're talking about. I'm not even talking about that right now. I could drop an F-bomb on Facebook right now or my Twitter account right now, and nobody would think any different of. Well, you all would think different of it, but nobody. I wouldn't get in trouble for it. I wouldn't get banned from Facebook for it. I could drop an S-bomb. I could say BS and spell the whole thing out, and nobody would give a flying rip about it. But if I got online tonight and I called one of you all some kind of name that has some kind of racial slur, my account would be blown up in 5 minutes. I'd get banned. I'd get put on suspension. Advertisers would get boycotted. If I said some of those words, if I used some of those phrases, you think words don't matter? People know words matter. And the people who will say, well, it's not that, singing's not really that important, Joey. It's not that important. It's just singing. What does it matter? You still get to go to church. You still get to see everybody. You still get to see your thing. First off, it's a compromise. Secondly, singing matters. Words matter. You are made in God's image. God spoke and things came into being. You can do the same thing. We need to learn how to use our words. I'll tell you this. This is one of my favorite scriptures. Now, I'll start to wind down a little bit. Mrs. Patriot, did I take my blood pressure pill today? I think that I may want to check that. Oh, hang on. Yeah, I'm going to get in trouble for this. There's this. Can you see that? There's all right. All righty then. There we go. So y'all know after this broadcast is over with, I'm going to get in trouble. You do know that, right? Okay. Anyway, I'm telling you, our words matter, and they know it. And they know it. And we need to learn how to use our words. Now, this is what I was getting to. In Ephesians, which, by the way, Ephesians is one of, it's probably my favorite book. But Ephesians chapter 4 says, let no corrupt communication come out of your mouth, but only that which is used for edifying. You know what edifying means? It means to build up. It means to build up. Your words are to be used to build up, that it may benefit those who listen. The people who hear you, and it doesn't say, well, only sometimes, and other times it doesn't matter what you say. No, it says, let no corrupt communication come out of your mouth. You ought to be building people up all the time. Husbands, build up your wives. Wives, build up your husbands. Parents, build up your children. And everybody build one another up. We should be building one another up even online. Oh, but Joey, that's where we air our grievances. Really? 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 I am I can't even tell you all how thankful I am for you, the folks who watch this broadcast, the folks who comment on this site, that you all are not constantly bashing one another, that you're not constantly bashing me. I'm thankful for that, by the way, that you're not constantly bashing this or that. We do make some statements about our government that say, hey, listen, this needs to change. This was not right. I'm going to show you one thing up there too. I mean, I've said our national media is not getting it done right. But it's not a constant bring down. Our words should be used to bring up. How do we do this? How do we bless somebody with our words? Okay? And thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that. We ought to speak life. We ought to speak life. Ephesians chapter 4, 29. Let's look that one up. Ephesians 4, 29, one of my favorite verses. We need to be building one another up. So there are the two things that are there. So you're saying singing? It doesn't matter, Joey. They got to go to church. It didn't matter if they didn't get to sing. Yes, it does. One, it's a compromise. Two, words matter. So be blessed with that. Now, Mike, to get to what you were saying, let's go back to something that I was speaking about a few months back, and let's see where this applies. And I don't know if you were watching that far back or not, Mike, but we talked about the First Amendment. By the way, am I still on? Is there? I see the comments are there. Am I sketchy? Is the internet still okay? Everything looking all right? I'm going to keep talking. I'll let you know. Let me know. All right. Here's the thing. First Amendment. 5 freedoms in the First Amendment. 5 freedoms in the First Amendment. Okay? The freedom of speech, the freedom of the press, the freedom of religion, the freedom to assemble peacefully, and the freedom to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Redress of grievances wasn't in any way harmed. Good. I'm glad. Just want to check. I was getting some bad feedback on a monitor. All right. And the freedom of the press was not harmed in any way in this. However, the First Amendment, and I don't know what the freedom of the press was. I don't think so, but I'm going to say no. The First Amendment was ripped to shreds in 3 of the 5 ways. You're taking away their ability to peaceably assemble. You've given it back to them in a compromise. You're not allowing them to assemble the way they want to. Okay? You've also taken away the freedom of religion, because you haven't let them worship in the way they're supposed to worship, in the way they want to. There was nothing harmed. There were no sacrifices, human or otherwise, Pharaoh. Nothing like that happened. And then the third thing, the freedom of speech. You are literally taking away their freedom of speech. So the First Amendment was thrown up into the air and shot with an arrow or an AK, whatever. I don't know. The First Amendment was taken out back and whipped. So yes, Mike, constitutionality, none. And he did it anyway because he's Pharaoh. So there we go. All right. Hey, lots more folks here. Jeff, good to see you tonight. And some other folks that have stayed with. Josh, if you're still here, how about that? Man, I appreciate that. Stephanie, thanks for joining tonight. And I see some other names coming up here. I know that it's kind of a revolving thing, but anyway. All right. Looking good, sounding good. Praise God for that. So there you go. We need to be praying for the folks in California, and we need to be praying for us, because I don't want this to happen here. I don't. And that's not to say, look, I don't want to say what I would do or what I wouldn't do, because I don't know exactly the words that I would say in a certain situation. I'd have to figure that out and pray about it. But we need to be prepared. We need to be prepared. Is the flesh. Struggle is real. All right, so there's that. Now, let's get to the funniest thing I saw this weekend. By the way, did you get to watch fireworks? Thoroughly enjoyed the fireworks. Brady does a fantastic job. Got to watch the fireworks display at the Choctaw display, and we set up shop where we've been setting up shop lately. If you go on just west of Burger King and kind of up the hill up there, and it's been fun. We had a good time. Family was there, grandkids were there, daughter and son-in-law there, mother-in-law there. 4 of my 5 kids were there. So we had a really good time. And it's a good view too. It really is. So, definitely sprayed down with the bug spray, sprayed it in one of my daughter's eyes and mouth, and because, dad of the year. But Anyhow, all right, so here we go. Let's get rid of that one, and let me show you. Now, this one, I just want to show it to you, and again, it's going to seem like I'm bad-mouthing the national media, and the reason for that is because I am, but let's see. This one's too good to pass up. All right, hang on just a second. Hold on. No. All right, let's go back. Sorry, I had a thought. I know some of y'all are really surprised by that statement. He had a thought. No, I had a thought. Okay, here we go. Let's look at it closely. Have you all been seeing on social media where somebody will put me and something they said, and then also me, something they said? Here we go. CNN. From May 11th, yet another study shows hydroxychloroquine doesn't work against COVID-19. And then July 2nd, study finds hydroxychloroquine helped coronavirus patients survive better. Which one? Would the real CNN please stand up? That is just, I'm telling you what, that is, isn't it interesting? And they want us to believe them. That's the thing. They want us to believe everything they say and do what they say because they're the national media. And because what they say is important. You go back to May 11th when this first one up here, and if I can find where am I? Here I am. This one I hear, you go back to May 11th and look at that. If you even said anything positive about hydroxychloroquine on May 11th, you were deemed a science denier. And what in the world are you talking about? You're going to get people killed because you said that. How in the world can you say that? You science denier. That's another phrase, by the way, I think needs to be left in 2020. But wait, studies found out that this did help beer bug patients survive. But I've already said it, so it doesn't matter. I'm probably getting kicked out. By the way, I have a friend named Joe up in Oklahoma City who put those two together. I'm going to give him credit for that. But yeah, there you go. Will the real CNN please stand up? Was I removed? By the way, and thank you, Alvina. My mother-in-law last week, I was having a hard time, and she made a joke, and I guess I was having such a hard time, I didn't even understand it was a joke, and sorry. I guess I needed a break. All right, there we go. Yeah. I think that here's the deal. They need to be called on it when they do that. They need to be called on it when they do that. We just need to do that. Okay. All right. Anything else? Patrick Mahomes is reportedly going to be signed to a $503 million contract for a 10-year period for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think yay for him. Yeah, Jeff, she was teasing. I think yay for him, but that the Chiefs signed somebody to a 10-year deal is incredible. This is a football player, and I like Mahomes. I like the Chiefs. I hope he leads them to another Super Bowl or two along the way if the Seahawks aren't there. But hey, that is a big deal. $500 million, and he still has 2 years left on this contract. So he's going to be with the Chiefs for 12 years. 12 years. Man, I hope this guy, I seriously hope he plays out every single game of this contract. But that's just some national news. So, of course, Mrs. Patriot's a big Chiefs fan. I'm going to go ahead and throw this one up. There we go. Jack, you may have some problems there because I think Dottie's found a new boyfriend. Just throwing that out there. Anyway, I don't know. Oh, and finally, and I don't have a graphic for this, but finally, I thought this was interesting. As if 2020 could not get any worse. I call it 2020. As if 2020 could not get any worse. They have, over the weekend, said that they are now finding cases of the bubonic plague. Go 2020. Which, by the way, and I saw this too. I thought this was great. News 9 in Oklahoma City put this out, and immediately in the comments section, Mrs. Patriot pointed this out to me. Somebody got on and said, "You're fear-mongering." Okay, you're fear-mongering. Yes, the bubonic plague is out there, but people can treat it with antibiotics now. Now, granted, I mean, still, it's the bubonic plague, but they can treat it with antibiotics. It's not the death sentence that it was centuries ago. But again, hey, it's news. Hey, it's scary. Hey, let's put it out there. Woohoo! Let's freak somebody out today. I'm telling you, it's what can they do tomorrow, and what can they do the next day, and what can they do the next day. So, who had Black Death on their bingo card? You know, that should be. We should come up with another game. Somebody needs to come up with a 2020 bingo card. There we go. 2020 bingo card. All right. There we go. Taylor Lawrence could get a contract like that. I think he has to win a Super Bowl first and not a national championship. He is very good. He's very good. Has the long flowing hair. So there we go. Wow. All right. Meth Gators. That was funny. I remember the Meth Gators. Did I get everything? I think I got everything. Announcements, got all the advertisers, said hi to a lot of folks tonight, and we're going to keep it under 40 minutes. Michelle Campbell, I'll send you a message on Facebook so that we can connect and I can get this to you. Thank you for playing. Thanks to everybody for playing. We need to come up with another one sometime soon. I thought that was fun. You guys had a lot of great responses. Honestly, and that's why, and look, I had nothing to do, didn't give any names. Nobody knew who those were. My favorite still, if I ever hear Flatten the Curve again, I don't know. Anyway, didn't like that one. New Normal. I agree with David. New Normal. I've never liked that phrase. I feel like people are trying to make me into what they want. So anyway, Corona Bingo. There we go. B19. Very good. All right. Anything else? That's it. You know what? You need to be wise. That is what you need to do. You need to be wise. And I'm going to do this before 40 minutes is up. Be wise. Use discretion. And do not walk in fear. Pharaoh's going to try to get you to compromise. Pharaoh's going to try to make you think that words don't matter when you know they matter. Don't compromise. Use your words wisely. Let no corrupt communication come out of your mouth, but only that which is good for edifying, that it may benefit those who listen. And do not walk in fear. You guys are incredible. You're absolutely incredible. I think so highly of you all. I tell Mrs. Patriot regularly when I get through the broadcast how much I appreciate you, how cool you all are. As she sees the comments, she knows what's out there. She knows it too. But I just want to say you all are a blessing, and I appreciate you so, so much. If you're just now tuning in, Jace, or anyone else that's just now tuning in, I appreciate you. You guys are a blessing. So I speak that blessing over you tonight. And I know my words matter, so I want to tell you, you can be wise, you can use discretion, and you can walk without fear. Let's do this again tomorrow, all right? 9 o'clock. Does that sound okay? God bless you all. Have a great night.